Nancy Wake wasn't the kind of woman people expected to become a war hero. She wore red lipstick, liked to dance, and walked into rooms with a smile that could stop time. But behind those bright eyes and sharp wit was a fire that even the Nazis couldn't put out. During one of the darkest times in history, Nancy didn't just fight back. She became one of the most feared resistance leaders in all of France, and she did it with nothing but a typewriter, a gun, and a heart that refused to back down. Nancy was born in New Zealand in 1912 but grew up in Australia. She was one of 6 kids, raised by a single mother after her father walked out. Life wasn't easy, but Nancy never let that hold her back. She was bold from the start, curious, independent, and never afraid to speak her mind. As a teenager, she saved up money working as a nurse, then bought a ticket and left for Europe, chasing her dream of becoming a journalist. In the 1930s, while working as a reporter in Paris, she traveled to Germany and saw firsthand what was happening under Hitler's rule. She watched Nazi soldiers marching through the streets and saw Jewish families being beaten and dragged away. The images stuck with her. Something inside her shifted. She didn't just see hate. She saw the future if no one stopped it. From that moment on, she knew that if war came, she wouldn't sit on the sidelines. When World War II broke out in 1939, Nancy was living in France and married to a wealthy French businessman named Henri Fiocca. But instead of staying safe in her new comfortable life, she made a choice. She would fight. At first, she joined the resistance in secret. She used her charm and confidence to smuggle messages, hide refugees, and transport food and supplies under the noses of Nazi soldiers. She played the role of the elegant French wife, sipping wine at parties and laughing with officers, while secretly helping Allied pilots escape across the border. The Gestapo, the Nazi secret police, started calling her the White Mouse, because no matter how many times they tried to catch her, she always slipped away. Nancy became one of the most wanted people in France. Posters with her face were pinned to walls. The Gestapo put a huge price on her head, 5 million francs. But still, she didn't stop. She kept going, even when it meant risking everything. And then, everything changed. The Nazis captured her husband. They tortured him, hoping he would give away her location. But Henri refused to talk. He was later executed. Nancy didn't even know until long after the war. The grief nearly broke her, but she turned that pain into fire. If she had once been determined, now she was unstoppable. She fled France, crossed mountains into Spain, and made her way to Britain. There, she joined the British Special Operations Executive, a secret group that trained spies and saboteurs. Most of the people in the program were men. Many doubted she could handle it. But Nancy proved them wrong, just like she always did. She learned how to parachute out of planes, blow up trains, shoot rifles, and survive in the wild. She trained harder than anyone else, and when she was ready, they dropped her back into Nazi-occupied France, alone, in the dead of night, with a gun, a radio, and a mission. Her job was to organize the French resistance fighters known as the Maquis, help them prepare for D-Day, and cause as much chaos for the Germans as possible. She didn't just tell men what to do, she led them. She built camps, trained fighters, and coordinated surprise attacks. She helped destroy bridges, derail trains, and cut off enemy communication lines. Every move brought the Allies one step closer to victory. But she wasn't just giving orders. Nancy was out there in the mud, the rain, and the danger with everyone else. One time, when their radio operator lost the code books, Nancy biked over 300 miles through enemy territory to get replacements. No helmet, no backup, just a bike and her will to finish the job. It took her 3 days, and when she came back, she didn't even rest. She went straight back to planning the next mission. She also didn't hesitate to fight face to face. One night, her camp was attacked by German soldiers. She picked up a gun and fired back, holding the line alongside her fellow fighters. Her courage never cracked. Even in the worst moments, when food ran out, when friends were killed, when they thought the Nazis might find them, Nancy stood tall. The men she led didn't just respect her, they loved her. They followed her because she never asked them to do something she wouldn't do herself. She told jokes, cooked meals, and reminded them why they were fighting. She wasn't cold. She wasn't cruel. She was strong, kind, and fiercely loyal. That's what made her special. When the Allies finally landed on the beaches of Normandy, Nancy and her fighters played a huge part in the success. They had spent months cutting off German supply lines and confusing enemy troops. Their work saved lives and helped end the war faster. Nancy had done exactly what she set out to do: fight back, save lives, and make a difference. After the war, she was awarded medals from France, Britain, and the United States. She received the George Medal, the Resistance Medal, the Croix de Guerre, and more. Military leaders called her one of the bravest women they'd ever met. But Nancy didn't care much for medals. She once said, "There's only one thing I hate more than the Germans. That's the bloody medals." For her, it was never about glory. It was about doing what was right. Later in life, she moved to Australia, then back to London, then back to Australia again. She never had children, never remarried, but always carried the memory of her husband with her. When people asked her about what she did during the war, she told it straight. No bragging, no drama, just the truth. She passed away in 2011 at the age of 98. But even now, people are still learning about what she did. Schools teach her name. Books are written about her life. And girls all over the world look at her story and realize that heroes don't have to look a certain way. They can wear red lipstick. They can ride bikes. They can type, smile, and shoot all in the same day. Nancy Wake didn't fight with magic. She fought with courage. She didn't wait to be asked. She saw something wrong, and she stepped in. She lived boldly, laughed loudly, and stood firm when others ran. They tried to scare her. They tried to silence her, but she never gave them the chance. She did it. Ask ChatGPT.